It was 40 years ago this year, leading the South to a memorable victory. What do you remember about that?
40 years seems a long time ago. Things have changed that much during that time. The game has moved on to now a game for big, strong guys, heavy guys. I was only about 15 stone. I would now have to be about 18 stone. There's no space left. The game seems to be a tight game now. The defence is taken over, and it's a difficult game to play, I would say.
What was it like, though, running out in the pitch and against this international touring side? It had never been done before, and you led them to victory. Fantastic.
Yeah, you sort of set your sights on playing against a touring side, being a club player. You had the Springboks, you had the All Blacks, and you had the Australians. So it was a great incentive to try and get a game against a touring side. We only had about the one training session on a Sunday before the game. And that was there were no coaches. It was coached by the captain or a lot of experienced players that was in the side at that time.
And the south of Scotland was big business back then, wasn't it? I mean, thousands of people turned up to see the south.
That's right. There was about 14,000 at the game, and the atmosphere was tremendous. So he was taken along by that atmosphere. He was lifted. It seemed to be a whole community that was behind you, and I think that is where the game has lost its way a wee bit. For me, anyway, it doesn't seem to be the same feeling.
I was going to say, because you were playing in the good old amateur days, I suppose. Now it's professional. Would you have enjoyed playing professional rugby?
It's a totally different game to watch. It's you were a working guy. That was your sort of outlet and your sort of fun to play rugby then. Where I think that's going out the game a wee bit. It's how did they come along on a Monday here? Had a not very good game tonight, and how did they start and lift the side up, and what did they take out of that game tonight? I just can't take anything out of it, really.
Now, you're a Hawick man through and through, of course, and of course you visit Mansfield Park quite regularly to see the boys. What's your own feelings about rugby in the Borders in particular? Because it's gone through so many changes, and from a player from 40 years ago, what do you feel about it all now?
I think now that the clubs in the Borders had a good base, that a town sort of feeling about them, whereas now the Border side hasn't got local guys, and I think it's lost its way a wee bit as regards support. You wonder, we haven't played Gala for about the last 3 years because they've got a league sort of premiership in the Border League. I would like to see it going back to having the Border League, and you'd play Gala, you'd play Melrose, Langham, and you'd probably get enough games. The leagues seem to have lost their way as well, and I think if we got back to a Border League, we'd get bigger crowds, we'd get a bit feeling back at our club game, especially the Borders. Edinburgh and the city sides are always going to be able to pull the better players for the Border sides, and we're more or less becoming just a feeder club to other sides, and that's a worry for me.
Well, going back to that memorable event 40 years ago when the final whistle blew, what were your memories of the celebrations that went on? It
was the sort of people that were true supporters coming up to you and saying how sort of pleased they were that we'd won. I think that's a sort of memory that sticks with me a wee bit. Guys that had, or committeemen that had been involved with in maybe semi-junior times and junior times. So it was a real feeling within the town and just within the Borders, and that's the feeling I've got. There are sort of memories I have from then.
And what was it like meeting some of the old faces again?
Oh, it was good. I've got Tom Elliott staying tonight. He came across yesterday. He's here on holiday right enough, but he's been able to fit this game into that, and Tom's staying tonight and he's going back. I'm taking him back, and he's going back to Langham tomorrow. He's here for about 3 weeks. Ali Casey, and there's only three. There was 9. There was Charlie Stewart and Jock Turner. David Chisholm are not with us. They're passed away, and that was good. Good feeling, good laughs. Still Wilkinson, I hadn't seen him for 40 years, and he hasn't changed much either. Just aged a wee bit like the rest. It's been a good night. I've enjoyed it, and on behalf of them, I'd like to thank the Borders for having us here. It's been a great night.